Let's talk more about the impact of the strike across the auto sector and really across the economy. Parts makers that supply the big three have more than $38 billion of revenue at risk if these strikes expand. And some parts makers rely on GM, Ford, and Stellantis for as much as 76% of their sales. Glenn Stevens Jr. is executive director of the MICHauto at the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Glenn, we had the big Chamber of Commerce on not too long ago, warning about the ripple effects. I think that's part of the power that the unions are able to wield. So we can warn about how bad it is, but this gives them leverage and adds to their ability to maybe extract higher wages and benefits.
Well, no one argues that the UAW should have a raise and has worked hard for a raise. At the same time, the OEMs, the ones that employ people, they have to compete on a national stage and international stage too. And to pick up on what Phil is saying, we're seeing more ripple effects. Yesterday, a supplier in Detroit laid off 650 people that make seats for the Broncos. And we're seeing this on the west side of Michigan and on the east side and across all the communities. The suppliers are really feeling the pain right now.
40% is a long way from 20%. You've got some gray hair. I think this isn't your first rodeo. Can you tell me when, how, what it's going to take, how long it's going to take? What's your gut feeling on how this plays out, Glenn?
Well, you're right. I've seen this a few times. We are at a very historic moment because of the things like electrification entering into the paid picture. We didn't have that before. Nobody really knows. We have encouraging news out of Canada with the settlement or a tentative agreement between Unifor and Ford. So that's encouraging. But the fact of the matter is the OEMs have put a very, very substantial offer on the table, and they have to compete. They have to be able to invest in their future, and they have to compete on a national stage. Look, labor and management, or labor and companies, built Michigan. They built our country. They forged agreements before, and we're just hoping that it happens real soon, that they forge a new one.
The outsized profits that the UAW keeps pointing to, are you confident that these, that a 40%, you would need these outsized profits, obviously, to give increases of 40%, most likely. Are they guaranteed? They're gas guzzlers. They're F-150s. They're SUVs. If we're transitioning to EVs, those are loss leaders, Ford losing $4 billion or whatever. How do we know the government isn't going to end up subsidizing these eventually, and taxpayers subsidizing these wage increases when the companies can't compete? Can't you see that playing out that way again, Glenn?
I can, but it won't. And I'll tell you, one of the things we've seen in the industry, from the big vehicle manufacturers all the way down to the small companies, out of 2008, 2009, they're operating with a really focused discipline on the future. So they know what they need to do and what they can do. They're investing more money in their R&D and their electrification than their profits. So they have to be able to reinvest. At the same time, again, they've put a really good offer on the table for the UAW. And no one would argue that the UAW and people in that, that work and build America need to be better in their lives. So I think and I hope we're getting closer, but we can't have a scenario where there's bailouts. That's not possible, and it's not acceptable.
So I'm just wondering about the big three transition to EVs and whether in 2030 we're talking about everybody driving a big three electric vehicle, and whether you don't think that's a pipe dream?
Well, I think that there's a lot of prognostications about where we'll be percentage-wise. Right now, we're at 7% in the United States for pure EVs.
And they're all Teslas.
Well, the majority of them are Teslas, but the Detroit 3 and Toyota and BMW and Audi, these companies are all entering the fray here. And also the Chinese. The Chinese are doing it too. So.
And cars that people don't really want yet. So there's just a lot of things between now and then that need to go right for people to be making these profits. And it's just a daunting thing to go through right now. Both sides have really good points, but I don't know how it plays out.